Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/pettyrevenge, which is like pro-revenge, but it's for the little things. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy some petty revenge stories. Airline Representative gets embarrassed. Basically booked with Ryanair. A huge mistake, I know. Decided to book a hold case and bring 2 cabin bags. Small roller case. So we arrive in the airport, head to baggage drop to drop our bags off. All seems to be going well until the airline representative notices our cabin bags and starts to complain that they are too big and we can only have a small backpack as carry-on luggage. This is a new policy and evidently put in place for Ryanair to sting customers for extra money if they don't read everything. So, she begins to demand €80 to book out cases on. She can't take money, so we will have to go to another desk to pay, then return and drop the bags off, etc. So that is a ridiculous price for 2 small bags. Unfortunately, we couldn't just buy a backpack in the airport as the cases were pretty expensive designer gifts from my late grandmother. I decided to ignore her and proceed to go through security anyway, as I thought the only reason this was mentioned was because I had to check in. I then read some of Ryanair's policies and realised this is actually rigorously enforced now and will be €120 to check in at the gate with the bags. I proceeded to get really worried, then realised I can actually upgrade my priority on the app for €12 to be able to bring larger cabin bags on board. This is fantastic, and I'm smiling to myself regarding the money saved. So, we arrive at the gate to be greeted by the same airline representative, albeit a little angry. When it's our turn, she proceeds to go on a rant about how she told us and that now I have to charge you more for being an idiot. I smile ear to ear and show her my new priority boarding pass. I then said, "Yeah, I have priority, thanks for trying to charge me a ridiculous amount of money." She then gets very embarrassed and red in the face. She then says, "There is no need to be so rude about it, it's company policy that I don't tell you." I just smiled and said, "You're such a nice person, I'm glad you work here." I always read about loads of airlines and stuff. I just got off a flight and I had no problems whatsoever, but I barely brought any luggage, so maybe that's the reason. I should just not bring a lot of luggage anywhere. The $250,000 pen. One of my best friends, Alex, was a staffer in a state legislative office. His boss was head of a key Senate budget committee. So there were always people coming to solicit her support for a particular project or grant or whatever. Someone representing an arts program that was looking for a $250,000 grant is waiting. I'll call her Lobby Ann. She comes up to the reception desk and asks for a pen. The senator keeps giveaway pens with her name on them in stock, reasonably nice ones. So Alex reaches over to the can where the pens are. Lobby Ann says something along the lines of, "Well then, the senator will know that I showed up without a pen." So what? She looks across the desk. Alex has some work spread out with his own favourite pen, an expensive one with lapis inlay, and engraved with his name and term of office of a campus organisation. Lobby Ann reaches over, snatches it up, and drops it in her purse. Alex, who is a very polite person, is completely gobsmacked and then tells Lobby Ann that it's his personal pen and not up for grabs. Lobby Ann gives him a contemptuous look and refuses very rudely. One of the sad and funny things about this story is that she uses a slur that Alex was not sure was a reference to his heritage, Asian, or his perceived sexuality. Oddly enough, given the nature of the stolen object, either slur ended with ink. Alex, confused and deeply upset, sits back down while Lobby Ann flounces back to the waiting area. In a few minutes, the senator comes out to get Lobby Ann. As they're walking past Alex's desk, he stands up and says, in a very clear voice, "I'm going to need my pen back." Lobby Ann stops in her tracks, as does the senator, and Alex says, calmly, "I may be a slur, or a slur, whatever you want to call me, but that pen is precious to me. You stole it right off this desk, and I want it back." The senator kind of gasps and said, "She stole your lapis pen? She called you a slur?" And then she turns to Lobby Ann, who is frantically fishing around in her purse and stammering something about just borrowing it, and says, "Give it back." Once the pen is back in Alex's hands, the senator says to Alex, "Come on back, I need you," and turns and walks into her office, leaving Lobby Ann standing there as the senator shuts the inner office door in her face. Then the senator picks up her purse, smiles a big bright smile and says, "Want Starbucks?" So she and Alex go out the side door and across the street. They could see the front door of the office from the Starbucks. It apparently took Lobby Ann about 5 minutes to realise how bad she'd messed up, and that she was not going to see the senator that day or any day, and that the project she was going to ask for money toward was probably doomed as well. She'd lined up strong support in the house, so it might have made it through, though it was not the kind of project the senator favoured. When she came slinking out, she almost certainly saw Alex and the senator sitting there drinking their drinks. Alex always ends this story with, "That was the best coffee I've ever had." I should also explain better about the pen situation, and here I have to make a few assumptions. The pens in the cup on the counter were probably campaign swag, in the senator's campaign colours and with her logo on them. Lobby Ann probably thought that meeting with a politician using a pen she'd obviously just taken looked bad. If that was the case, she was focused on a stupid detail that the senator almost certainly didn't care about. And anyway, the pens were there to be taken. Also, I kinda tend to doubt that she carefully evaluated Alex's pen, judged it to be valuable, and got covetous. Again, this is my guess. She just saw a pen that didn't look like a campaign pen, a blue pen with gold writing on it, and just grabbed it. Until she picked it up, she may as well thought it was plastic. Once she picked it up, however, it should have been obvious from its weight that it was not a cheap pen. I do not have a picture of the pen itself, don't even know if Alex still has it, but as I remember it, it looks something like this. If you're thinking of trying to get $250,000, like literally $250,000 from anyone, I'd probably be so well behaved for that entire week. Never mind like only the interview and the actual place you're going to. Just be a nice person. Waking my neighbour up at 2:30 AM. So my downstairs neighbour loves to have parties all the time, even 2 or 3 times during the week. They will drink, scream, yell, sing, whatever in the backyard until 2 in the morning. I have to wake up at 2:30 AM for work, so trying to sleep through this isn't fun. I have asked her to please keep it quiet plenty of times, or at least take it inside. She responds with just close the windows so you don't hear it. I have went to my slumlord of a manager and asked them to do something about it, but yet they never have, and I don't think they care to. So this past week, I've been starting my motorcycle up right in front of her bedroom window to let it warm up, and just before I pull it out of the driveway, I rev it up just to make sure it's fully warmed up, of course. Yesterday, she talked to me and told me I need to stop it, and I informed her that there's something wrong with my bike and it has to warm up just a little longer than normal now. Should I have mentioned that it's not just the noise, it's the fact that they leave broken glasses and broken bottles around the driveway and yard. My first concern is when my daughter comes over. She likes to play back there but can't anymore. And let's not forget motorcycle tyres are expensive. I asked her if she could clean it up and was told, Don't you own a broom? Oh, I think everyone's going to agree with me when I say he should have just replied with, just close your window and you won't hear it, and then just carried on revving it until she stopped. Steal my purse. I'll leave you stranded. So, a little background. I'm from London, so we have an Oyster card that we use on public transport. You top it up and tap it when you get on the bus or train. With the newer ones, you can put it on an app to top up, and you can see the last journey on that card. To the story. I was coming home from work and left my purse on the bus. Stupid, I know. So I froze my card and waited till the next day to call in at the bus station, as the office was shut at this time. I called in the next day and no purse was handed in. Oh well, I thought. I reported it to the police and thought that was that. Then I get a notification that someone had used my Oyster to go into town. It wasn't a short trip either. It's an hour-long journey they took. I told my roommate what happened. Being the devious little person she is, she said, "Did they top it up?" I replied yes. She smirked and then said, "Let's take the money they just put on it and strand them where they are." So she sat us down and cancelled the card and took back the £5 they had just topped up on it. So the card will no longer work. They are now stranded an hour away from home. Revenge is best served petty. I always worry that if I'm on like a train or a bus that I'm gonna leave something behind, because it's like as soon as you leave that, there's no getting it back pretty much, because it's just gonna go and go unless someone nice picks it up. But yeah, it's not very many people like that. Take advantage of my quiet voice? Make a fool of yourself instead. This happened when I was in grade 1 and still remains one of the pettiest things I've done. Background. In grade 1, I, female, was really great at arithmetic, but I had a quiet voice and was not often heard in class. There was another guy, which I'll call Joe, not his real name, who was the obnoxious class clown. He had a loud, booming voice and enjoyed being rude to other people. His math skills, however, weren't as great as his ego. In class, we often had a competition where the teacher would hold up flashcards with simple math equations, and whoever said the answer first would win. The actual revenge. I was naturally quick at these, but soon Joe began to catch on. He would purposely sit next to me, and when I shouted the answer, he'd shout the answer louder than me, and the teacher would give him the credit. Grade 1 me was unconfrontational, but angry. With a deep hatred for Joe inside of me, I decided to make things fair. The next time we had the competition, the teacher held up a flashcard. 6 plus 6 equals... Grinning, I said 11 quietly, and Joe unsuspectingly believed me. For I had never been wrong in the past. Joe shouted, 11! Out with all his pride as he smirked at me once again. But this time, the teacher shook his head. Joe was wrong. More importantly, I was right when I shouted the correct answer right after. I enjoyed my moment of glory and victory as Joe's face fell. Petty revenge is the sweetest revenge. And hey Joe, if you're reading this, screw you. I hope you enjoyed answering that 6 plus 6 equals 11. I know it's grade 1 and all, but 6 plus 6 is 11. How do you not know that? Cut me in line at Chik Fil A? I will rush you. We have a Chik Fil A by my house, and it's in a weird spot in a shopping centre. So the line will be so long, you have to wait to turn into the lot. If you go in the centre, you are facing east. You have to make a left turn to get in line. If you face west, you turn right. So people facing west tend to cut people facing east because east people have to cross over a lane or wait for cars to go by. Once the line moves, you have to be on it because not everyone respects 1 for 1. So it's my turn, and this girl completely speeds up into my spot and does this victory dance and points and laughs at me. I end up behind her and her passenger. They bring me my food, but now it's too late and I'm stuck behind the cutter. I have my food, I just want to go, but their order is taking forever. They get their food and pull up a bit and stop, and are going through their bag right there. Like the driver is doing it, not the passenger. So I honk, and they pull up to turn out, and no one is coming. So now I'm mad, and I just honk as fast as I can. Every time they stop, I am just honk honk honk, immediately. We get to the last stoplight to turn right out of the shopping centre, and we have a wide open chance to go. So I lay on that horn immediately before they even stop entirely, as if you were in such a hurry before to cut me, but now you're not. The passenger turns around and is irate and saying something. I just look at her and honk. I guess it was a mum teaching her daughter to drive. Teach her to be considerate. And that is why you order food instead of going out to get it, because you run into situations like those all the time. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.